Oh my God, look at that.
What spice did you get?
I usually get extra hot, but I don't know what happened. Can I get the flag at least? Because I don't know, like I get plain Nandos. Do you know what I mean? Is that all right?
You know I'm going to call you out anyway.
You absolute legend. Bang.
But it's still plain.
I know. I love that everyone's turning on me. We want to play hardball. Come on then, let's go. Monday with Nandos.
Monday morning.
What's been going on?
What has been going on?
Bim, you've been smashing it.
Yeah, I've been working, like, since the show aired, I've literally not had a day off. Getting the reaction I had was incredible. It's like everything that I've ever wanted is happening, and it's just, it's been amazing. And I've written a book.
You've written a book as well?
Oh,
during this time as well, yeah.
Vibes, man. I'm so happy to like do it with everyone.
No, I'm buzzing as well. This is such a good vibe. So, where are you going after this? What are you doing?
I got to go to America. No, I just got a couple of festivals, like, but I'm already excited to get back home. You know what I mean? I love England.
Is it your Jaffa cakes that you miss and your Yorkshire tea?
I genuinely do take Yorkshire tea with me. I take Yorkshire tea, Ribena, and a leopard print blanket
The
everywhere
essentials.
I go. Just keeps you grounded, doesn't it?
Yeah, but why Ribena?
Because it's sick.
Do they not have that everywhere though?
No.
How are you doing, Angel?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going into my final year of uni, so it's probably really different to what everyone is doing.
So down
It's
now.
like education.
So what are you studying?
Geography, obviously.
Dom, are you good at geography
Yeah.
at school?
Terrible at geography.
But I think the thing is with like geography, everyone always thinks like, I'll say I do geography and everyone goes, okay, name every country in the world. And I'm like, sorry, I cannot do that.
No, don't worry.
But no, we really learn about things like volcanoes and like earthquakes and like climate change,
Cool
obviously.
stuff. Well,
yeah,
not cool
I think
stuff.
that's cool stuff, but everyone thinks it's more impressive to name every country in the world than it
Yeah,
is to
the
like
places.
tell people how like volcanoes are formed. But
Formed
like,
by tectonic plates coming together and going upwards.
It's like your haircut.
It looks like I'm in a volcanic eruption
Literally,
right now.
I'm down, it's hard.
And you're the lava flowing down
Literally.
the side.
Flat out.
Yeah.
yeah, and I also really missed the memo here.
I know, it's like everyone's got red hair. It's like
Yeah.
red hair gap.
Was this planned?
Well, yeah, we did have a group chat, sorry. No,
Yeah. So Angel, how did you end up getting into the activism side of things?
And to be honest, it's really only been this like past year and a bit, but I think my passion for the environment was when I was in school and like studying geography, obviously. Like, I feel like everyone has like an attachment to nature anyway. I feel like everyone can just like relate to that. And then obviously that was just like excelled to like education. But it was really like around the time of like Black Lives Matter, and I was talking a lot about racial injustice because obviously like coming from Belfast and being a minority, the last census that was done, it was something like Belfast or like Northern Ireland was something like only like 1 or 2% black. So I literally was like minority. And like growing up, I was the only ever black person like my school year. So that like really sucked. And I think just like talking a lot about racial injustice and everything and having my passion for like the climate, obviously the two are so like interconnected. So
you study geography.
Yeah.
Did they teach you anything about environmentalism in school?
yeah, but not as much as like they should,
They
if that makes
should.
sense. Like
So
I
think
wouldn't
that's
say.
a key, is
Yeah,
education
education,
at
yeah.
a lower level, because then it's kind of ingrained in you.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember the Pythagoras theorem, and I don't use that.
Yeah.
So I want to know about climate change.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
in school.
And how
like,
to do taxes.
Yeah, I know. So how did you get like into like climate change, or do you think you're still like trying to find your way into it?
Definitely in the fashion. It's about working with the designers and like always trying to be as conscious as you can.
Yeah.
Because I think it does come down to like, it's unobtainable to a lot of people, they feel, because it's literally everywhere is like unethical consumption. So it's hard to be on it as much as you can. One of the reasons I went vegan was the environment. Because I was vegetarian anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like vegans get a bad rap.
Oh yeah. I feel like there's a lot of stereotypes of being vegan.
Yeah. There's the stereotype of that you're just going to be this angry, chaotic person that's like out for everyone to like. But to me, it's all about like the ethical consumption argument, and it's like what you say even about like clothing. It's like to wear less. It's like to kind of eat less and like be more conscious of what you're putting in on your plate and like what that particular meal is doing. Like, I even feel like a lot of vegans use plant-based now because it's less offensive than what vegan became. And I feel like even there'll probably be some vegans that are like kicking off about me being sat here in Nando's, even though I'm having a great imitator rap. Don't get it twisted. But like, yeah, it's difficult because like we said, it's not perfect. And I feel like taking up space here is important to talk about the environment and climate change. So that's why it's like such an amazing fit to do. So that was like 2015, I started kind of getting really tuned into it. And then I've always tried to be like as ethical as I can, really.
On the music side of things, that must be like well on your mind in terms of climate change and stuff like that?
I'll be completely honest with you. With it all, it was actually my tour manager who really implemented these ideas to me. Because when I started touring, right, I was just ready to get on the road and play some rock and roll, man. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, cool. And she really implemented these ideas. I remember going to America for the first time, and there was literally, in my dressing room, 5 cases of bottled water, wrapped in plastic, and then like polystyrene cups, man. Like if 10,000 people come to see our show, and like 10,000 people having 5 pints of lager in plastic cups, man.
Yeah.
They're all getting thrown, and then it adds to waste and stuff like that. Like I know it's like crazy and like, yeah, rock and roll in inverted commas, but what is rock and roll, man? Literally being able to live in freedom, and that's what rock and roll means. And if we don't stop, we ain't going to be existing, man, because we're going to be underwater.
That's so good that she came in and just like introduced it to you.
It was cool, man. I like didn't really know anything else.
Yeah.
I will admit that my initial voice was a lot about identity, gender, sexuality, kind of the personal things that I'd faced, because climate change was not on my mind. I was from Doncaster, and I was like small town and whatever, but then when I had my eyes open to my generation and I meet kids in Australia and Nijmegen and Russia, and we're all talking about the same thing. We all want to be part of an equal, peaceful society, man. And it's like, it's literally is up to us.
We just want to live.
Yeah, I know, and it's like, that's the conversations that I had, so I implemented that into my art, because
I think that's important.
You know what I mean?
I think that's the key though, like to talking about climate change is you find something you're good at, what you're passionate about, what brings you joy, and then you have climate change.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's so important to bring your creativity and bring your art into it.
Completely,
Because then
man.
it means like you're never going to feel like deflated about it, because you're not forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do, but you're also talking about something really, really important.
Because it's also exhausting when you start learning about it, because you become so...
You can be really overwhelmed.
Because you're like, oh my God, what am I doing?
scale of it,
What is my single-use plastic doing to the planet? What am I doing that's making it so bad? Like, what am I doing that's wrong? And then you become an attack on yourself.
You start to shut down, which I think is what we want to try and move away from. Like, it's very unproductive, let me tell you. See, whenever you focus too much on your own carbon footprint, because I'm pretty sure like the individual impact on that we have on like global warming, it's not huge.
Yeah.
It's more about how we can use as individuals, how we can use our power to create change. If you do want to make a wee bit of an impact, just like reduce your meat consumption.
That's literally the thing that I learned. Like, if you're eating meat 3 times a day, 7 days a week, is like, why don't you just eat it 4 days a week, take 3 off? Or like, if you go to a restaurant and be like, I'm not gonna have steak and chips tonight. Oh, I might have that pasta that's got no meat in it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's literally
it's
like,
actually beef, which is like the worst.
Worst one, yeah. Because of
Really,
water
really
consumption as
bad.
well, the way it's farmed.
They require a lot of food and things like that. Just don't overwhelm yourself with it, because I know you're saying like you're so fast paced, you don't have time to stop and think about what you're eating. That's fine. But I think that's why I was always like on and off vegan as well, because like sometimes if my mental health was pretty bad, and then like I would just be thinking too much about what I'm going to eat, and then that's normally whenever I flip back to eating meat, because to me it was always just like easier, and I used to beat myself up over that, because I was like, I'm not vegan, it's horrible for the planet, but it's just do what's sustainable.
My mum always tells me, because whenever I talk to her about it, it comes down to like a consumption thing, because it's so accessible. Like meat is so accessible now, whereas like when she was growing up and she was having family cooked meals every day, they'd have like chicken on the weekend, then make a soup out of it, and then they'd have like one other meat that week. Like they literally didn't have access to it, because it was a wealth thing as well. It was like they weren't like the richest, so they had to like make it do. So I think it comes down to that as well. And then the plant-based alternatives are a lot more expensive. When people consume it, those prices will go down when more people do it. And that's why like coming to Nando's, getting this great imitator wrap, I feel like the more people do that, the more like Nando's will probably be like, okay, let's add another vegan option.
Completely.
Like that'll just like have a domino effect on like having alternatives in different places that are kind of like meat dominated.
Do what's sustainable for you.
Yeah.
So like if it's some people like they can't go veggie, which is fine, but they can change their consumption habits in terms of fashion, and you're also going to make a world of a difference that way. 100 companies contribute to like 70% of emissions.
really?
Yeah, but the top 3 like polluters. First one is energy, obviously, which would be like your coal, oil and gas, and then you have number 2, which is animal agriculture.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is the fashion industry, which I think a lot of people don't actually know that fashion is like such a high polluter. But them top 3, who do they all link back to? And it's us. And I feel like it's not our fault that like fast fashion, like they use unethical practices.
Yeah.
But it's how we can campaign like and put pressure on these companies and on these businesses to change.
From a fashion point of view, what do we know of the hidden costs of fast fashion?
Fast fashion is a topic that gets me quite heated because like there's already too many clothes in the world. Like you have like charity shops have whole sections dedicated to like, I'm not going to name any names, but certain big fast fashion brands. And it's like with fast fashion, you have like loads of issues of like racial inequality. And then it's mainly like women who are garment workers as well in the global south. So whether it's like feminism, racial injustice, racial equality, climate change, it all feeds into the same cause. So whenever I said like we're all basically fighting for like the same thing, it's just about people actually don't realize how
like
connected it is. Yeah, basically. If any of us just went and went to them factories halfway across the world and sat there, you would wake up very quick. And I think like fast fashion can be quite like accessible to some people, but the people who, it's not poor people who are upholding this system. It's people who have disposable income, people who can afford spend £200 a month on fast fashion. Because like even whenever I was like younger and I was buying fast fashion, I would go in school and be like, oh, I'm so broke, but I buy a new dress for that weekend.
Not in reality,
a lot of people just throw about that word, I'm broke, but I'm like, but no, you're not.
Yeah, just wear less. Just wear nothing. Charity shops are a great place to go.
Yeah.
I remember turning onto charity shops when I was about 15. I'm from like a small town, and I was seen as a weirdo for wearing like fishnets and fur coats. So when I got into charity shops, I was like, wow, you can actually create your own style. Like you can wear what you want. And that's an easy change people can make. Going into charity shops.
You don't always have to buy new clothes. Like you actually don't. Like cut them up.
Yeah.
Tape them together, make something cool and make something new. Like, I love that. Get creative with it. Don't just like throw something away and just like discard it.
That's how we change things, isn't it? It's just about kind of implanting that idea into people's brains that you can do it a different way and you can do it a more sustainable way.
Because I even feel like sustainability has become a buzzword as well.
Yeah.
A lot of fast fashion brands have actually been like making an upcycled range or like a repurposed range, and I'm kind of like, repurposed from what though?
I feel like that is very performative though, because like the whole like fast fashion brands in themselves, like if you are promoting a culture of overconsumption, no matter how many sustainability collections you do, it doesn't make it sustainable. Like if you're still pushing out collections every single week, that's not sustainable.
But I also feel like fast fashion fed into what you said about the overconsumption, because it allowed you to just buy a cheap outfit for a night out and never wear it again.
Yeah, that used to be me.
Yeah.
And no one cared about that outfit. So it was like, no one really cares, so you really don't need to do that.
So when it comes to like what we can do and what impact that's going to have, because when I think about it, I feel like I'm trying to save the end of the world. I feel like I'm in Avengers Endgame. I'm literally coming together. I feel like I'm trying to save the end of the world right now. And I sometimes feel like it's a lost cause at points. I feel like it's a lost cause at points. And I don't know where to start sometimes.
I think conversations are so important. I know it sounds really basic. But just talking about it is so important.
It's the foundation of everything.
Yeah, just opening up that dialogue and like going like, I don't really know too much about like what we were doing today. I've been like, I don't really know too much about this.
Asking questions.
And then we just talk about it. And like, that's so simple. And like, yeah, so the best place to start would be joining an organisation and...
Because we don't know it all.
I don't know it all.
We don't, I don't know it all.
And people think I know it all. And I'm like, I really don't, at all. Like, I'm not an expert on anything. I find it interesting. I like to talk about it.
I feel like an expert.
Very passionate about it. Sometimes when I'm sitting here. From me, like I used to be your typical like fast fashion, like meat eater, didn't care about anything. I want to be rich whenever I'm older. Like I'm just like the complete opposite person now. So that's why I really want to focus on like doing the work that I do, because I feel like it's so important to connect to people in that way, because I know what it's like. So I try and make it as accessible as possible, and there's so many other amazing spaces where people do that as well, and I feel like it's getting a lot better.
It's not the end of the world though.
No, it's not.
It's not.
And I feel like that's why people get so deflated with it.
It's the start of the revolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everyone has a part to play, and no part is too small.
The word like activism and stuff is such a scary thing. Like, everyone is.
Sounds
like you can be. Like you literally can be. If you talk about what you believe with passion and with everything you've got, man. Like if you get people talking about it they might do one thing in their lives that makes it better, and then two things, then three things, then four things, and it's literally, it's not even about everyone going, okay, we need to stop everything. It's about implementing everyone to do literally their bit.
Yeah, drop down.
I'm getting a megaphone. I'm going to Oxford Circus tube station right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell the people.
I think like the word activism, it just puts people on this like pedestal almost, and people feel like there's such high expectations of being like the activist, and you're like, that's not it. Like anyone who votes, you're an activist.
Completely.
Like it's not a big scary word. It's not like you standing in the street with your like protest sign. It's not even that. Like I feel like a lot of people like try gatekeep it as well. Like just because something's on social media doesn't make it performative. If anything, it makes it really, really accessible, and a lot of people can learn about it that way. Especially like during lockdown. That was like the main reason why I started like speaking out about it online, because I was like, well, where else am I going to do it?
But people always say it's kind of like the younger generation, but it has become like a Gen Z kind of typecast, like, and
Almost
it's
like
like
a trend.
Their future, though.
Yeah, but then I feel like it wasn't taught in school that much, so
It's
I feel
not.
like they're learning it themselves,
Yeah.
which is incredible. And it is through mediums like TikTok, and it is through mediums like Instagram that you are able to access it.
And that's what's sick about everything. Someone asked me the other day, I was like, why is our generation different to generations before? The difference between us and the previous generation is that we have literally each got a mobile phone, and we have literally the world at our feet.
There's so much information out there that I find it so hard to process sometimes, and almost have the confidence to actually like speak about it.
A lot of the time I get things wrong, and like I feel like that's where people don't, like I feel like people see people like me, like an environmental activist on social
gotta
media,
get it all right.
literally, and they're like, you said this wrong, and I'm like, yeah, of course, because I'm not a perfect person. Also, like I'm literally still a child.
Don't call someone out for making a mistake, I think, personally, because I just feel like that makes it worse. I feel like that if someone calls me out for something and attacks me for it, that pushes me away.
Yeah.
Like just engage in a positive way around it, I feel like.
And like, there's no such thing as a perfect environmentalist. Like, we're all contributing into an unethical system somewhere.
And when you have those tricky, awkward conversations, because they will happen, like not everyone you could speak to is going to be open-minded straight away. You've just got to go for it, because, and like, don't dilute yourself for that person. Speak your truth, speak your values, be open about that, and then if they're ready, they'll learn more, they'll open up, but you've already planted the seed.
And know what you're going to have an impact on.
Yeah, normally like the countries who have like the least
to
impact,
do with it.
literally,
Literally the
they're
least
actually
impact.
the ones like protecting our ecosystems. The global north has a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
In terms of like how like our actions like are impacting like people in the global south, because it's especially in fast fashion, it's devastating.
And also, like, I feel because we've seen a bit, but we haven't witnessed it on our doorsteps right now
that's
to
what-
the extent that other places have.
It's like our little bubble, and
Yeah.
people don't want to think about climate change until there's going to be water sitting at their doorstep. The majority of our plastic waste actually gets shipped off overseas.
Yeah.
And I always like say this to myself and like other people, like, see if every bit of waste that we produced, if it sat in our back garden, if it sat in our house, if it sat in our front garden or whatever, you would do something about it then, wouldn't you?
Completely, yeah, you would.
You would completely cut down on your waste if you knew that this was going to be impacting you. But because it's shipped off overseas and it's lying on someone else's doorstep, literally, then that's why people don't
But
like
you
thinking
can't,
about it.
like, we can't avoid throwing things away, right? How do we go about?
It's more about, I know what you're going to say.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like
it's
making
more
that impact
about
that
our
that's
government
produced.
and what they're doing
Yeah,
with our waste.
completely.
And there's a lot of like policy and regulation that needs to come into that, which is why I always say to people, vote and vote correctly. Signing petitions as well, like only so much that you can do. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that do just fall back on our government. But it's up to us to put the pressure.
Yeah.
Read about
Learn
it, put
about
the
it,
pressure
yeah.
on them to make the big changes.
You know, I think part of the problem with like not talking about it enough or not knowing how to talk about it is being scared about making the mistakes around it.
Completely.
We are all part of it, and it goes for racial injustice, it goes for homophobia, it goes for climate change. We are all part of it at the end of the day, and we all have a role to play, no matter how big or small you feel like you are. We need you alongside us,
Flat out.
you know, to actually make that difference.
Booth truths, everybody.
Oh my God.
Let's have it. Oh my God. What?
Whose DMs did you last creep in?
Oh no. Oh, you've got to say it.
No, I don't have to, do I? Do I have to say it? I have to say
Yeah,
it.
and you have to say it.
I'm gonna say this.
Is it?
It's not.
Do they have a blue tick?
They do have a blue tick. Do you know? There's an artist called. Shy Girl. Do we know Shy Girl at all?
I love Shy Girl.
Yeah, she's great, isn't she?
What do you say?
What, were you talking?
Yeah, just, just chatting, having some fun,
Vibes.
getting on as mates.
Go on,
My
Ben.
turn.
Go on, Ben.
If you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
I think Pamela Anderson.
Oh, nice.
So random.
Nice.
I love Pamela Anderson.
Love Pamela.
And she's a vegan.
Yeah.
She's always been kind of like very open about like social issues. The collaboration she did with Vivienne Westwood, I think that was one of the most genius things ever. Because she like walked out and it was like someone that's like so obviously not what high fashion ever looks for in a model. And yeah, I think that a lot of the work that she's done over the years, like charity work she's done and activism, I think it's like hugely admirable for someone that was viewed as kind of like a bimbo. And I think she kind of reclaimed that by being this very intelligent, smart woman. So I
Totally
think that's
turned on
great.
her head.
Killer.
Iconic.
Icon.
Iconic. Pam. Next up. Oh no, here we go.
Tell us your best menu hack.
It's ketchup, isn't it?
Ketchup. I'm actually just gonna say it. My best menu hack is ketchup. Put it on anything and everything, even your dessert.
What's the
Oh my God. You're gonna get roasted in the comments. People are gonna come.
I'm
for you,
gonna
Angel.
retract that then.
I love it. Jack's just talking about his dating life.
Well, I got done dirty. Whoever put the top card on. So cheers for that.
I thought you said it was going to come this way.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
Come on.
Do you have any tattoos you're embarrassed about? No, I got one on my bum, and I love that. It's an elephant on my arse.
I have no tattoos.
You know, no tattoos?
No, I don't have any tattoos either.
We said we were going to get a tattoo, but he keeps freaking out.
No, it's not. Yeah,
Every time we flip a coin, and the coin always flips right, or we always like play odds on and we get the same number. He's like, oh, no, I didn't mean it.
No, the
We'll do
funny
next time,
thing is,
we'll
it's
do next
actually happened
time.
like 4 or 5 times. It's getting to the point now where I'm kind of thinking it's meant to be.
I want you to get it on your eye there.
Yeah, I'm not going to get rock and roll in my eye. That's not going to happen.
Right, should we do a quick fire round?
Yeah, let's
Ready,
do it.
three,
Let's
two,
just
one,
smash
go.
round.
Go, boom.
Let the person to your left send a text on your phone.
Love it.
What are you doing
That's
to
me.
me?
That's me.
You're
to
getting
my
the
left.
worst
Oh,
one.
wait.
To my left.
Oh, yes.
Let the
Damn.
person to the left. I'm glad it's not you.
Can I do it on Instagram?
Don't hold back, Bim.
Please,
But I'm
come on,
also
do something good.
well nervous.
Who? I don't know who to do.
Ask him, he'll tell you.
I mean, I was going straight for his mum. Bro, I've literally got a message for his mum right now.
What would you
Go on.
say?
I passed the powers.
Mum, I have accidentally super glued.
That's where I thought you were going with that.
Super glued. How do you spell testicles? Testicles.
Icicles.
It's bad. It's bad down here.
Do I have to go to A&E?
Should I go to A&E?
What do you think she'll say?
I actually think she'll take it serious.
Done. Sent.
When will she respond? Does your mum reply quick?
We'll wait and see, won't
Okay.
we?
Read it out again.
I have accidentally superglued my hand to my balls. It's bad down here. Should I go to A&E? I'm really worried. They've gone blue. You didn't put a kiss in the end, man.
I mean, would you? I wouldn't have time. I hope your mum goes, how are you writing this message?
And it was very punctual as well. There was a full
Literally.
stop.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Go on, Bim. Quick fire.
Oh, yeah. What's the best lockdown DM slide you've received? Yungblud and Ariana Grande, I would say.
What did she say?
She followed me after Drag Race.
Oh,
and she was
sick.
like, I love you. Hit me up.
That's
Will you come
awesome.
say
Same as
hi?
me. I was literally like, love what you're doing. Hit me up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's link.
Thanks. I got one. Best advice you've ever been given?
That is tough.
I'm gonna be really like just generic and just say like, don't worry about what
Yeah,
anyone else
literally.
is doing, what projects they've got planned, what they're doing, you know, how much money they're making, what, you know, anything. Worry about yourself.
Completely.
What you're
So
doing.
right.
Blinkers on, man.
Do you?
Mum.
My mum's calling me.
Please pick
You have
up.
to answer.
You have to
Please.
go along with it.
Speaker, speaker, speaker.
Hi, Mum, you right?
Yeah, is that a real text?
Yeah. Mum, I don't know what to do.
Are you sure it's real?
Yes, Mum, I can't get them off.
What are you talking about?
I've got, oh my God. My text, I've got my hand stuck to my balls. I've
But
got
why?
my, why do you think?
What, you super glued?
Yes, I'm right, I messed up. I'm just really
What, you
panicking.
got-
They're going a bit blue and I'm really, really worried.
Soap and water gets it off.
Soap and water.
Soap and water, baby oil, anything like that.
Oh my God. Okay, I've got loads of baby oil.
Oil stuff.
Yeah, I've got
I thought
loads.
it was a joke.
No, I've got them so. Look, let me just go because they're going a bit blue, and I obviously need to get my hand off. So let me call you back in a bit.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was iconic.
Your mum is so sweet.
I'm dead.
That was so good.
What do you mean?
How have you done that?
I love
I bet no, I got to ring her back.
Just
haven't
ring her
I?
back.
No.
Just
I
like,
think
Mum,
I think she was
was
great
very
not to
calm,
swear. Yeah, she was
yeah.
like, my mum would be like, what?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I love that it was not out of the ordinary.
Yeah, she was just like, okay.
It's a joke.
Hey, my
Say
fault.
hi to everyone.
My fault.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was Dom. He sent you a text.
Hi,
You were
babe.
very calm though. My mum would be swearing at me.
I was just reading that text and I thought, he's up to something.